Greetings, everyone. It's the Mercenary, and it's been a damn good minute since I made a commentary behind any kind of video, apart from the two shorts that I've made just past recently. So before I dive deep into where I've been and all that other good stuff about updates and whatnot, let me just give some brief gameplay background, which involves some Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War doing some zombies, and I'm playing it on the PC for the first time, which is quite shocking considering that I never thought I would be buying a Call of Duty for PC, but considering the older gen consoles such as Xbox One original, Xbox One S, and base PS4, the PS4 Slim, and now the PS4 Pro are slowly falling behind in performance issues that when I played it, it just didn't seem up to the par as currently with the gameplay you're seeing right now. So in the top left corner, you'll see that my FPS is well above 60. Sometimes it dips to 50, 40, sometimes in certain areas. But on console, it felt like it was less than that. And I felt that I wasn't deserving of quality like this. I knew what I had to do, and I made the next step. And that was obviously to PC, which is what I've been gearing my system for, is towards these newer gen games. Now, obviously, I'm going to face some caveats, which is my GPU mainly, because obviously these newer gen games are coming out with much more higher technology, and which is going to require a much more demanding hardware, such as an RTX, mostly in the 30 series, and all that stuff. And I just don't have that, and I'm not willing to empty my bank for it. Not that I don't have the bank for it, and the shortages are still real. Like, it's still short on supply, and I can definitely empathize with a lot of people who are kind of cringing and getting angry towards those who are sponsored by these graphics card companies, that they're able to flex their hardware, whereas us, well, we wouldn't have minded it a few years ago before the pandemic hit, because we would be able to get ourselves our hands on one not shortly long after these guys would be promoting it, or being sponsored by it. So for us, well, it's kind of more like, nah, 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 I got a new card, you have to wait type of mentality. It's like, we're not impressed. Move on with the topic of the video, shall ya? So anyway, back to the game. This is actually Die Machine, which I actually just started using this for upgrading and leveling up weapons and progression, which I was actually really shocked to discover this is the very first game out of the entire entry of the Call of Duty franchise where you can actually play cross-mode progression, such as Outbreak and Zombies, that you don't have to sweat in multiplayer to actually level up yourself as well as your weapons. It actually carries on over to multiplayer. Now that may seem like a cheap thing to do and not grind out the multiplayer, for which obviously weapon leveling and personal leveling would be more relevant. But the fact that we can actually just enjoy ourselves, level up our weapons, and just have a good time with friends or just playing solo, that I feel this is where this game shines the most. And if it wasn't for this, I guarantee you I would not have owned Call of Duty up to this point, but being I was playing on PS4, I figured, you know what? Let's make the switch. It's gonna be better gameplay, smoother, smoother performance and everything. And sure enough, I have not regretted. Like, I'm actually getting the best out of my $40 Canadian currency. That is, for Americans, it might be more like 20 or 30 bucks. That currency exchange really fluctuates every freaking time, and I don't like to keep up with it. But anyway, I digress. I just found out the move. I'm actually getting the best of my 40 bucks right now, which is, there's a lot of zombies. It may not be an abundance of zombie maps, but there's enough to keep me entertained. But before actually doing the actual missions, which I actually completed this for the first time solo, which I guess to a lot of people's surprises, it's actually quite of a challenge to do, as I kind of discovered. But yeah, once I watched a few video tutorials on how to do this, it was actually not too bad. I mean, it didn't come without its challenges, of course, but it was enjoyable nonetheless. Now to move away from gameplay to focus on more of a personal update. Well, outside of gaming and outside of content creation, I've actually been content creating in a different aspect, which involves promoting my my Facebook photography page, which I've been doing a lot of over the summer. And I was very busy over the summer in terms of the wildfires that happened, which I happened to almost be in the middle of, and also almost had to be evacuated for because of how close these wildfires got.
What's burning in that valley? Well, it's just the shape of the valley and the way it sits with the wind blowing through it. It'll just be like a wind kind of blowing fire this way.
Outside of that, it's put a lot of stuff that we hoped to have gotten done over the summer on hold, because mainly a lot of irresponsible drone pilots went rogue and decided to go and fly in these areas which they weren't supposed to, and it caused an entire area to be prohibitive of any kind of UAV to be flying around in the area, which is not good for anyone, and it really leaves a bad impression on the droning community as a whole, as it is. And I'm surprised that droning hasn't been banned completely altogether already. But apart from the whole wildfire situation, it's normally quite nice, but I mean, there's always that one chance that a wildfire will spark, and that will cause a chain reaction of other wildfires to spark. And this one this year came relatively a lot closer than it has in the previous years that I've actually lived in the province of BC for. And it's not fun. It's definitely not fun. That's not what BC is supposed to be about, but I mean, technically now its history is now part of its future, unfortunately. So if there's any kind of consistent content that might come your way, it'll be definitely in the shorts category, which obviously I don't try for, and those are the best moments, is when things come to me naturally versus, wow, I never expected this. So for everything to come together naturally on its own is like the best reward possible. So if it does happen, just know that this wasn't tried for. This is now what if. Actually, no, what if could actually be part of that too, naturally, now that I think about it. But when things come to me without me trying for it, it's all the more better. It's like, wait, what? That happened? But how? Type of reaction. So that's what I strive for. So be on the lookout for more content like that. So yeah, as far as gaming goes, I am mostly 98% on PC now, which means that all the games going forward, I'm going to be trying again for PC, but given my video card is slowly starting to be alongside the last gen consoles, which is my 1070, unless these games are just being poorly optimized and I'm just completely talking out of my butt. But I mean, the performance kind of gives the impression all that I need to know about how a game's going to operate. And so far, after trying the Battlefield 2042 beta, my PC's video card is going to be a struggle bus for sure. Far Cry 6 is going to be another one of them too. It's quite crazy that an aspect of that game, which is the HD textures, actually requires 11 gigabytes of video RAM, which is absolutely insane. That means an RTX 2080 Ti or an RTX 2080 Ti for the win, which is a 12 gigabyte I think, and an RTX 3090 for the win, which is a 24, which is absolutely insane. I don't think any games in the Far Cry series has ever asked for such a demanding component or feature that includes better visual graphics in a video game before, up until Far Cry 6 came out. But on the bright side, the games I currently own right now that are in my library, which I've not played yet, my 1070 still kicks a lot of butt in that field as compared to owning a newer card, which obviously is going to be needed for Battlefield 2042 and obviously Far Cry 6. And I might spill a tier or two for Halo Infinite if the graphical requirements are beyond the 1070's capabilities. But for the games that I'm still able to play to full satisfactory, it's a far cry from complaining about what a few games that have still yet to come out in the future that my 1070 will struggle hard to do versus the games I can already run flawlessly on. So to move away from the fancy talk of technology, I've actually been quite consistent on Twitch throughout this year. I mean, I haven't really been streaming all the summer just because of the impact that the wildfires have had in terms of being ready to evacuate. I had a moment's notice. I've been actually on Twitch more this year than I have been in previous, and it allows me to focus on what game I want to play the most versus what game I feel like I need to do a let's play of, which I'm not really stressing myself of doing any kind of content, although I'm still in the planning phase of what kind of content I still want to do. And I'm thinking too much rather than acting on it, but it's all part of the planning phase. So with all that said and done for the time being, I want to thank you guys sincerely so much for staying subscribed and waiting out for whatever it is that I have coming next. But this is pretty much a sum up of what you can expect from me, and if you guys want to see more of what I do outside of YouTube, Twitch is the easiest way to do that with. So expect a lot more YouTube shorts coming, since it's like the easiest content without thinking too much about it to distribute. So that will be all for me for right now. So if you guys did enjoy, feel free to smash that like button, or not. Feel free to leave a subscription and make sure to take that notification bell so you never miss out on a single upload. And I will catch you guys in my next video. Until next time, have yourselves a good day. Peace.
Hostile fragged.
30 seconds till Soviets have missile launch. 15 seconds, let's go! Area clear, I'm picking them up. Track team extraction. Leaving the AO.
Bravo's over, strike team. You earned your pay today.